Today is Sunday, April 2nd, and this is the first of my um, video flood memorial update. So I'm new to this. This will be an interesting experience for both of us. But the reason I'm doing this by video is to better explain what the Flood Memorial Project is. And so I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I do want to show you what the project entails, and then you can decide whether it's something worth investing in or being part of. So let me look here. Oh, first of all, going door to door, I would be willing to do that. If you want me to go by your house, I'd be glad to go door to door. However, there's only so many places I can be, but using social media such as YouTube and Facebook, I can go door to door virtually. So in a way, I'm at your doorstep right now. So, first thing on this project is, well, what is the project? The project is to remember the flood of 1997, of what happened back then. Now, why would we do something like that? Many reasons. One is that since it's been 20 years, it's likely to be forgotten if we don't do something, and I don't see anyone preserving the story. So if we're not going to preserve the story, well, then who is? So it might as well be us. And then if we are going to preserve the story, well, then how do we do that? How should we preserve it? Should we just have a scrapbook that we put up in a display case somewhere? I think I'd rather have something more. And so what I want to do is to have a documentary, something that would be good enough to be on the History Channel, and have that be the time capsule to preserve our story. And so to do that, I'm not a film producer. I could go with a camera, I suppose, and interview people, and I've done that and posted that on YouTube, and the quality's okay, but not anything great, and I don't think the kind of quality we want for a project like this. So there's a company named Video Art Studios who documentaries, that's what they do. And they're really good at it. They're professionals, is what they do for a living. And so they know much more about what a documentary entails, the process. They know much more than I. And so I'm running into people a lot who say, boy, I wish you'd go to my Aunt Eunice or whatever and talk to her because she was in the flood and oh man, she has a great story. And I would love to do that. But for the documentary, we're going to need to hire professionals to do this. So as much as I'd love to interview these people, if I interview them with my camera, it's not going to be something that we can use. And so the folks at Video Art Studio, they've told me exactly what we need, how it should be done, when, all the stuff, all the details. So I need to raise money to be able to do this, to hire a film crew, to hire professionals to come in and film the footage, film the interviews, bring the professional microphones to get excellent audio, bring the professional cameras to give a quality picture, a quality image, and then actually be able to edit that stuff and put it together into something that makes sense. That's what I want to do. And so I've invested some money that I would receive, seed money, to make 3 promo videos and 1 teaser video that shows what the documentary would look like. And so it's only a few minutes long, but it gives you an idea of what the quality that we're looking for in this documentary. So if you haven't watched it, I invite you to do that so you can see kind of what I'm looking for. Now, the length of the documentary, we estimate about 30 minutes. And the first 15 minutes of this documentary will be made of interviewing people who were there, people who were involved with it, people affected by the flood, and there are many. And to fit that into 15 minutes is going to be a challenge, but that is how I picture it, is 15 minutes of interviewing people that were there and sharing their story. And then the second part of the video is the actual performance, which is our concert coming up on May 10th. And that's the musical side. So you're going to have 15 minutes of interviews, people telling their story, and then you will have the next 15 minutes showing the actual performance, where we're hoping to bring people in to perform with us, to be there as our audience. And I have raised enough funds. Oh, and let me just pause. This is all coming off so quickly. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. The Deco Foundation has agreed to match funds up to $25,000. So anything I raise gets doubled by the Deco Foundation, and they think that our flood story is worth preserving. And not only that, they think it's worth putting up $25,000 of their own funds. And they gave me $10,000 in seed money to start the project. So anything I raise is automatically doubled. So that said, currently I have enough money that I can hire video art studios to come out on Wednesday, May 10th, and they can film our concert. And not only film the concert, but produce a video from that. So that's already funded, and that feels good. I know that May 10th rolls around, we've got that. What I want to start doing now is the first 15 minutes of this video, the interview part. And so for that to happen, to hire a group of professionals to come in and do these kind of interviews takes money. And video is not cheap. Producing video is definitely not cheap. But to have something that's high quality is worth the investment. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to raise the money so I can hire this crew to come out and begin the interview process. Now, I do have Cornelius Hawker from Valley News Live. He came out here already and did a story on us, and I believe tonight he's doing a story on Carl Swenson. He's the composer of the piece that we're going to perform in May. And if I can get the schedules to work, I'd like to have Cornelius come and be part of that interview process. But if when you're making a documentary, the footage needs to be consistent. So you can't take something like, let's say that I have Cornelius, bring his camera and film us and do all that. Well, that won't match what Video Art Studios does when they bring their equipment, because they're just different, and the professionals tell me that this is what you have to do. So I can't just borrow from this and take from that and use all this stuff and kind of string this together. Well, I could, but it's not going to look like something you'd see on the History Channel. So if schedules work out, and that's something I'll keep you posted on, if schedules work out, then I can bring Video Art Studios and Cornelius to the same place and have people come share their story and do it in one setting. I don't know if that's going to work out. These are busy people, but I will try my best. And if that doesn't work, at least I'd like to be able to bring Video Art Studios to Ada and start that interview process, because I want to get going on this while the interest is there, because we're approaching the 20th anniversary on April 7th, 20th anniversary of this flood. And after the anniversary passes, the interest is going to gradually just not be there. This is the high point. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to do a good job. I'm hoping to do a better job, I would say, of explaining the project, and while the interest is there, and to let people know what it is we're trying to do. So let's see, how long have I been doing this now? I hope it doesn't even say how. Am I broadcasting? Yes, I am live. Okay, I've been 10 minutes. I want to make sure this is actually doing. You can see, like, imagine if I put this thing together myself. This is what this video would look like. And all right, so we're looking at hiring this crew to film and starting to work on that first 15 minutes. And so the other thing I want to say about this is for a project like this to succeed, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. So we have a grand piano in the auditorium, and when you want to move a grand piano, the hardest part is getting that thing to go. It's on wheels. It's got these casters, very heavy duty casters, by the way. But you push on that and it is hard. You push and that thing will hardly move. But once you get that piano moving, excuse me, once you get that piano starting to roll, then you don't have to push so hard. It just starts, the momentum of the piano itself keeps that thing, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Well, in my flood memorial project, to get this project going takes some movement. And once it starts to move, once people start investing in this project with me, then the momentum starts to build and it just starts to roll. And that's what I'm looking for now is I need people. Right now I've had 25 different people and organizations who have contributed to this project. And if I can get more people to come on board, that gets things moving. I call it the little blue line. You'll see the blue line on my fundraiser. It shows the progress that I'm running on Facebook, and that line moves as more funds come in. So I'm looking for people to join us, and you might be able to give $20 to this project and invest in that, and that's super. That's great. You might decide that this project's worth $100 to you, or you might even give $1,000. Whatever you can give, I can use. And the more people that I get, even if they're just giving a little, that gets things moving. And once that gets moving, then interest starts to grow. And once interest in this project builds, well, the media starts to take interest in it too, because they say, hey, people are paying attention to this project, let's cover it. And then that builds more interest, which then raises more funds, and it just keeps going, and that grand piano, so to speak, is moving. And so I need people who are willing to get that piano going, to get that thing moving. So that's what I'm appealing to now, is the interest is there, the opportunity. This isn't an opportunity that's going to last years. Okay, this window is going to close in a relatively short time, where people are actually interested in the flood of 97 as we approach this 20-year milestone. And so I need people to get this thing moving, so while the interest is there, while we have a chance, we can seize the opportunity and preserve this story. Tomorrow I will do another flood update, and I'll explain to you, what the story is, at least from my perspective, what the story is, because it's an amazing story, and I only know a small part of it. But we need people who are going to move this project. And just like back in 97, it was a lot of people who came to help us. Cornelius asked me about the flood and how we were overcome by the water, that it was something bigger than us. And it really was. When the power cut out, I mean, this was much bigger than us. What I didn't get a chance to talk about was how a bunch of people came together. And in spite of the flood, in spite of the storm, all the destruction, all that stuff, but people came together and they each gave something. Some gave a whole bunch. Some gave a whole bunch of their whole time. And some gave just a little. They gave whatever they had. But those people all coming together did amazing things. And that's what it was. It wasn't just 25 people getting together and doing this. This was a lot of people. And with those people coming together behind that common cause, that's worth remembering. that was a special time. That doesn't happen all the time where you get people doing that. So thank you for giving me this time. I hope I wasn't rambling too much. I'm not really used to just rolling my webcam and posting this live. I don't even know if this really went up to YouTube. I'll be able to tell once I stop, and then I can see if it's actually there. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to address in one of these videos, just send me a message. Go to YouTube, or you can send me an email. I'd be glad to address whatever you want, whatever I can do to help explain the project and what it is. I'd be glad to do that. And so until I do this again, I'm going to try to do these updates as often as necessary. So I don't know if that's an everyday thing. I don't want to just run the camera just for the sake of me talking, but if there are things that I can bring to your attention to help explain this project, to help better communicate what it is we're trying to do and to answer questions as they come, that's what I want to do. And so thank you. This is our first video post, or my first video post, and have a pleasant Sunday afternoon.